go. Finally, we get this thing going. I have no idea what happened in the LSU Texas A&M, Louisiana Tech basketball game. I hope LSU won. I haven't really been able to watch LSU basketball at all this year. We have had horrible internet issues. So once again, sorry, we have really bad weather in the region. I even had my tripod out here. I was getting ready to do this thing on my phone. But guess what? There's a lot to get to today. Obviously, the big news here, Blake Baker no longer a part of this team. So that's obviously the big story of the day. And look, I am a huge Blake Baker fan. You can make a strong case he was the best position coach. I'll go on ahead and say it. He was the best position coach on this team. Knowing what happened with our LSU linebacker room from this year to, you saw how they played last year. And you saw how Damon Clark played now. He might be a late first, more than likely middle of the second, early third round pick. So, apparently the game was close. I thought Blake Baker did a great job as well, DBU7. So let me know how you guys feel about Blake Baker right now in the comment section. Once again, apologies for the internet connections. And I am happy. I am very happy that our dear, beloved LSU basketball team won. They are 11-0. Good stuff. So, look. Obviously, we're going to get to that. Obviously, we're going to talk KAYSHON Boutte. I do want to issue a disclaimer. Once again, you guys can message me anytime you want. You can comment on any other video. I have nothing else to really add about the KAYSHON Boutte situation other than if he wants to go, I'm sure Alabama would welcome him with open arms. But there is a high likelihood that KAYSHON Boutte will be with the LSU Tigers next season. So, look, this is how we all feel about the Blake Baker scenario, right? We trust Brian Kelly until proven otherwise, right? And I feel that way, right? We have no idea what he's going to do with this job. I have no idea what he's going to do with who the defensive coordinator is going to be. I have no idea who the offensive coordinator is going to be other than Mike Denbrock being the most likely scenario. KMC, thank you for the super chat as always, my friend. Looks like it's going to be Matt House and Mike Denbrock as the coordinators. What do you think? I'm on board. Why not? Bring on Mike Denbrock. Obviously him and Blake Baker. I don't know why I'm wearing a hat. I got a fresh cut today. I'm feeling good about life. Are you feeling good about life right now? Because I know I am. I'm wearing my. I got to show you this. 91.1 KLSU. Not only gave me my first start, also gave Chris Gordy his first start, and he's phenomenal doing SEC stuff. And then obviously Mario and Musso, they gave Mario Jerez his first start, my dear friend Mario. So, yeah, I think Mike Denbrock has a really high likelihood of being the guy next year. Denbrock doesn't run a spread. He's a little bit more traditional. I don't know if you've been able to watch Cincinnati's offense play, but they can get vertical. So it is what it is. Valenti, he's been texting me all day. Andrew was really excited to discuss some Blake Baker tonight. So, yeah, I like the way Sean says it. I also like your avatar. Welcome to the channel, Sean. Welcome, Sean. You can ask me anything. We always want first timers to feel welcome. Valenti's been with me for over a decade now. Only worry is I hope BK didn't promise to Mario Tolan that Baker would be retained. So this is also very important when it comes to Blake Baker. Maybe Blake Baker is leaving on his own volition, right? Maybe he's going somewhere that he already wanted to go to. Right. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm always excited about coaches that really want to go live their dreams and go somewhere else. So we'll see. KB got a brand new sports car from an LA dealer. I think you meant to say BK got a brand new sports car from an LA dealer. So yeah, cool stuff. Excited for him. That comes with the job, right? When does Brian Kelly start his Raising Cane's ads? That's all I want to know. That's all the world wants to know, Rob. You can super chat this, but the information that the people of PHL want to know, Rob, does he have the Raising Cane's money? Is that part of his repertoire? Oh, KAYSHON Boutte. Okay, that's better. I'm excited now. I was about to say, Brian Kelly getting a new sports car. Well, little dude, I'm giving you some good news. And this is also very important. Recruits aren't dumb. Carter running off at the mouth and not listening. Reed, always a beacon of positivity, right? Thank you. You can think why I thought he meant BK instead of KB, but once again, I'm an idiot and Reed knows everything. Trey, it was my fault. I didn't start on time because of the internet, right? I cannot say this enough. We've done phone live streams before. Our last one was in Alabama. It's really hard to do on my end to where I can get all your comments in. So I was just waiting, hoping my Wi-Fi would finally cooperate, and it did. So it is my apology, Trey. I know you look forward to these live streams. I do too. I'm telling you, there is no place like I'm skipping out on a holiday party Thursday night, open bar, all that stuff, so we can do our interview with Van Lathan. By the way, I have to say before we get back into the KAYSHON Boutte stuff, y'all go show Jeremy Hill some love. That was incredible. It was an out-of-body experience for me. I know it was something that was really big for you because anytime you hear Jeremy Hill sharing those Tom Brady stories, that Tom Brady story was just so freaking insane, right? Even he was like, it was pretty nuts now that I think about it. He also shared he gave us two big scoops regarding his career and just LSU football in general in that video. Big Mac, good to have you back, man. Thank you so much for your super chat. Yeah, Trey, once again, I apologize. But anyway, we continue. But the bottom line is KAYSHON Boutte. Okay, let me say this really quickly, okay? Let's just say KAYSHON Boutte got $100,000 of NIL money. And let's just talk about this NIL stuff really quickly. Let's just say KAYSHON got offered $100,000 of NIL money from Alabama, and LSU gave him $50,000 of NIL deals. It's still smarter to stay at LSU, right? Now, I know that doesn't sound right, but it is right. It is still smarter to stay at LSU and be the guy. KAYSHON, if he has the season that we think he's going to have, he's going to be one of the best LSU wide receivers of all time. Now, I haven't been able to stack his stats up against obviously Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. But if he plays a full KAYSHON level season and he produces even at, like, he had 9 touchdowns last year, which is an insane amount of touchdowns. Let's just say he has next year just 8 touchdowns total. He's still going to be one of the best LSU wide receivers of all time, right? So the bottom line is, look, I freaking love me some Keeshan Booty. And I think he's going to come back. I do. Max says, Carter says out of body experience so much he's dropping acid. Yeah, Max, this is an EDM show. We're at the Chainsmokers. We're hanging out with a dude named Xander and a girl named Kalila, and we're getting ready for the third set with Steve Aoki dropping acid. Let's go. Sip, you're right about that. He would be the guy on any roster. But Big Mac, let me know. Big Mac, let me know how you feel about KAYSHON. Let me ask you guys this, okay, since it's now out in the open. And KAYSHON had another cryptic tweet today. It's typical wide receiver tweets. Every wide receiver, this is how you know KAYSHON's going to be a great NFL wide receiver. Every single NFL wide receiver tweets out a motivational quote that could double as a sorority girl in a Hallmark movie, right? And I love it, right? If KAYSHON's tweeting that stuff out now, he is going to be Odell Beckham. He is going to be Devontae Adams confirmed at the next level. He's going to be a superstar at the next level. So, look, KAYSHON's going to be a superstar at LSU. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't. I think he realizes who he is at Louisiana. He realizes that he'll get that number 7 uniform next year and be our guy and be our leader. And let's be honest, if KAYSHON would have kept producing the way he was producing last year, even on a bad team, he probably wins a Biletnikoff. His stats were really that good. So Big Mac says here, the rumors are not true. I'm close to somebody in his family, and he's staying at LSU. Let's go. And look, his father has shared a few Facebook posts. Once again, I'm always kind of iffy on Facebook posts because, you know, there's so much weirdness that comes with it. But it's on pretty good authority that he's not going to go anywhere. I'll also say this from KAYSHON's perspective. If you were KAYSHON, look, there is huge leverage when you're in this position of power, right? Rarely in professional sports you have the power that a college athlete has right now when it comes to the transfer portal. You don't even have to let your coaches know that you're putting your name in the transfer portal. You don't even have to. You go to the compliance office. You don't even let the coaches know, and you could just pack your bags and go, right? There's really nothing to it, right? It's different in free agency in that players have more freedom of movement instead of less. So it's pretty crazy. So I trust Big Mac on this. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Pegasus, I think a lot of people think he's leaving simply because it's the off season. We're kind of after the coaching hires. We're kind of after the recruiting. The Eli Ricks thing just happened, and we're rebuilding. I'll say this as well. All things considered, the first thing that you do need to keep in mind is the Alabama situation with a better quarterback, knowing who your offensive coordinator is going to be, does seem like, just in football terms, that would be the better place. But just because it's the better place in football terms doesn't mean it's the best place for you. And obviously there is something more to being a wide receiver at LSU and being from Louisiana than any other position, because we've shared the stat plenty of times before. The last wide receiver to have 30 catches in a season, not from the state of Louisiana, was Terrence Tolliver in 2010. So KAYSHON's a real deal. And when his career is over, we'll be talking about him the same way we talk about Jamar and Ruben Randall, Michael Clayton, whoever you want to mention. King Robert, what's good? Good to see ya. Sean, a first-timer. Everyone, Make Sean feel welcome here. I want to believe him, but Eli Rex's mom also said he wasn't leaving. Us LSU fans are a little skeptical. This is also something else, Pegasus, why people are skeptical. And Sean, you make a really good point. The difference here is a Louisiana factor, right? KAYSHON's from here. It's a little bit different when you're growing up and everyone in your family's an LSU fan. Everyone around you's an LSU fan. And look, KAYSHON probably feels some type of way about Corey Raymond leaving as well. They're both from New Iberia, and I would feel sour about that as well. A lot of players feel sour about that, and Blake Baker now, right? For whatever reason, Blake decided to leave. We don't know that just yet, but here's what I'll say is Blake Baker was loved in that locker room. So it sucks. It's change. It happens, right? King Robert. Go get Zach Evans. Jared, welcome to the channel. Everyone make Jared feel great. You know, I love me some Zach Evans. The only thing you have to worry about with Zach Evans is obviously extracurriculars that comes along with Zach Evans, right? Most of that tied to his high school career, but still. No one on the planet loved Zach Evans more than Ed Orgeron. I do know that for certain. And Coach O was right. I mean, he is a real special talent, but still kind of put our recruiting class in a bad spot to a certain degree. It's a good question, Titus. I really don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. I don't know where John Emery views himself. Does he view himself as someone that wants to get into an NFL camp and try and make it that way? I don't know. Let's go to King Robert here. What's up, Carter? I hope Coach didn't make a mistake by letting our linebacker coach go. And this is a key thing right here. We don't know. We don't know if Blake Baker decided to go on his own volition, right? I do think Blake wants to go be a defensive coordinator again. The bottom line is Blake Baker is really good. We can understand why he struggled at Miami. It seems as if he didn't get to do his own thing. Blake Baker was coaching under a defensive coach at Miami. So for those that don't know, Blake Baker, his first big Power 5 job was not Power 5 job, but his first big job was being the defensive coordinator at Louisiana Tech. Then he gets hired as the defensive coordinator at Miami. All right. His first defense under Manny Diaz was pretty beast. Then the next year, the defense wasn't as good, particularly against ranked opponents. Manny Diaz took over his play calling duties, and Blake Baker said sayonara, and he became the linebacker coach at LSU. He wasn't really wanted. Miami fans kind of trashed him. And this is the thing that you have to like a lot about Blake Baker, okay? Specificity. I talk about this all the time. And this goes anything in life, right? If you provide specificity, it puts more pressure, but it also provides more clarity. And Blake Baker specifically said in his opening press conference, and this was the only time he spoke to the media, and it was the only time assistant coaches were made available to the media. He said the linebackers last year played with bad technique. I'm going to fix it. And the reason why that's important is because he was saying that the talent of our linebackers isn't bad. It's just the technique. And guess what? He was right. He was right, and he exceeded it. I get chills thinking about it because rarely do coaches actually call their own shots like that. So I give Blake Baker a lot of credit fixing Damon Clark and Micah Baskerville because last year they just weren't good. A lot of it had to do with the technique of the 4-3 front and our run fits, but they just became better football players this year. There's just no other way around it, both of them. Baskerville's probably going to get drafted, and Damon Clark is definitely going to get drafted. So we'll see. Good question here. Jared, let me know if this is your first time. I see King Ulysses in here as well. Welcome. Mike, welcome to the channel. I think this is Mike Citizen. Are you related to Trevante? If so, let me give you some NIL money. Huh? Joe, I think, Joe, you're a first-timer as well. Welcome. Let's go to Jared's question first. I thought Blake Baker was recruiting the linebacker Perkins. Now what? Yeah, here's the thing with Harold Perkins, right? We don't know, right? That's going to come down to that young man's personal decision. I was talking about this privately with King Ulysses before this chat. I don't know what the numbers are at Texas A&M. I don't know why some schools, no one's able to just simply explain how this works, right? Some schools are allowed to sign more than 25 players and other schools aren't. I'm guessing Texas A&M only signed 23 or 24 guys last year, so it makes them be able to sign 27, 28 guys. I don't know how it works, right? So the bottom line is I'm a huge Harold Perkins fan. Jared, I believe this is your first time in the channel. He's my favorite player in the class of 2022 over anyone, Walker Howard, whoever. Now he's not more valuable than Walker Howard, but he's better, right? He's the best player. Would I like to see him on LSU? Yeah. Would he get more immediate playing time at LSU? Absolutely. He would play immediately. He's special. But still, we'll see what happens. It's just been a while. Good to see you again, man. Let's see here. Let me know, Chris. I wasn't able to read a whole lot today. I did have a charity function earlier today. I was Santa Claus for a toy drive. So let me know. You guys got to fill me in. I'm not able to read every last little thing. So we'll see. Kansas City linebackers coach Matt House. Is that his name? Let me know, Joe. The hard thing, though, it's kind of like Durante, right? If you hire a position coach from the NFL, what kind of defense are they going to run? I don't know. Is he going to run Steve Spagnuolo's defense? Is he going to run? I don't know. So we'll see. Matt House from the Chiefs is going to be the defensive coordinator, apparently. So let me just do a quick search right here. Matt House. See here. Learning about him as we speak here. Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator, linebackers coach. He was a defensive coordinator at Kentucky from 2017 to 2018. Defensive coordinator at FIU. Pittsburgh's defensive coordinator. So obviously a lot of defensive coordinator experience. So yeah, I don't know a whole lot, right? What is he going to run? Is he going to run what the Chiefs run? I don't know. Matthew says, can Santa bring us a coaching staff and a recruiting class? Well, let me put it this way, Matthew. You should feel pretty fortunate about the current recruiting class, right? It's a really good recruiting class for a transition year. I understand it stings, and I know we're looking towards the future, right? But I do want to bring this back up. You see how much head coach negligence can set your program back, right? There are two talented assistant coaches. Well, three, if you include Tommy Moffitt, three really good, well-respected assistant coaches that are all packing their bags and going elsewhere. Because obviously, Ed Orgeron wasn't good this past year. And look, there was a lot of you that did not want Corey Raymond to leave. I think there's just as many of you that didn't want Blake Baker to leave. This is what happens when, what happened last year happens. So it goes to show you that your head coach is responsible for everyone. Because when that head coach gets fired, everybody's on the chopping block. Everybody. All the way down to the custodian. It matters. It really does matter. We finna hit the portal hard. Man, I'm crossing my fingers for Jahmyr Gibbs, guys. I do think Jahmyr Gibbs and Zach Evans could look at LSU's running back room and say, look, I could be the guy there. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. Let me know if everything is sounding great. I'm glad we were finally up and going. See the poll question here. Is LSU falling behind on NIL? Okay. So let's talk about the NIL stuff. All right. So the poll question here, it seems to be overwhelming that 84% of you say LSU is falling behind on NIL, while 15% of you says no. Okay. We'll get back into Jahmyr Gibbs and everything else in just a second. So I'm kind of curious because I know quite a few of you here. Good to see you again, SRT. DBU7's in here, looking ripped as always. Good to see you, man. Sib G's in here. It's not a live chat unless Sib G's in here. Sib G, I know you're a big Myles Brennan fan as well. Good to have you in here, man. If I remember correctly. So here's, let me ask you this, right? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Is LSU falling behind on NIL? I want to see the who actually feels which way about this, right? Now, once again, I'll go off this topic. Venmo, Cash App, Super Chat. We go straight to your Super Chat question. And Robert, thank you so much for the very generous Super Chat. He says, I hope to see you at the bowl game. King Robert's going to the bowl game. Let me know how many of you are actually going to the bowl game. Robert, remind me later. And I was talking to Haley about it. We're going to try and work it out for both of us to go. It'll probably just be me. A little bit of a trip to Houston, but anything to hang out with King Robert. So a lot of you feel this way, right? Okay. So here's Mickey Joseph's burner right here saying KAYSHON is staying. I like it. Good stuff, Mickey. We needed you to do this for us. Even though you're at Nebraska, you got your boy DeColdis. We needed you. Thank you, Mickey. I appreciate it. So, King Robert, I'm definitely going to come to Houston. It may not be for the bowl game, but I'm going to definitely try and make it happen. If you guys are going to the bowl game, we can hang out. Let's do it. Let's go. So, this is how I feel about the NIL stuff, right? We don't know. We don't know. We honestly don't know. Now, does it make sense that all three of LSU's wide receivers went to Alabama? Yeah. Because they don't know who the offensive coordinator is going to be. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They don't know a whole lot about Brian Kelly. Those recruits are probably more familiar with the Alabama coaching staff than the LSU coaching staff at this point. I think every single one of you would agree with that, especially considering Mickey Joseph was the one who left. So the NIL stuff got really up to speed because most of you said yes, right? The NIL stuff really got up to speed when all three of our best wide receivers went to Alabama, and Texas A&M is having these success they're having in recruiting. And there probably are some deals being made there. I just don't know if LSU is really falling behind because I simply just don't know. There's not a ledger. There's nothing we can really look at as far as NIL deals are concerned. We had a super chatter in here a little bit earlier and ask about KAYSHON. Big Mac, what's up? And we followed it up. Someone said, KMC said, he saw KAYSHON in a new sports car. Sounds like we're getting some stuff we need to get done to keep KAYSHON here. I think we're doing NIL fine. We were the first to actually do the New York City billboards. I think we're on top of it. I think, and this could be a controversial opinion, Huey's going to pay for my gas to Houston. Okay, good stuff. I'll tell you this. I think all three of those players went to Alabama because they're Alabama, right? They just had a wide receiver win the Heisman. They know who the offensive coordinator is going to be. They know who the quarterback's going to be, even though it's only a year. Also, one thing that kind of sucks is Alabama's wide receiver room is not that good right now. They have a lot of talented guys, but Jamison Williams is going to be gone. John Mechie's probably going to be gone. Slade Bolden's probably going to be gone. So, guys, I don't know how far we're behind on the NIL stuff. I'll tell you this, though. Texas A&M is definitely doing something. There's something in the water down there, right? Max wants to talk Jacoby Matthews. Saw some Jacoby Matthews tape today and reminds me of Jacoby Stevens, more of a box safety than a Grant Delpit cover guy, a deep down the field type. So let me ask you guys this. All right. I'm going to ask you two questions, okay? Because Jacoby Matthews, he's played more defense this year. And we'll get back into the NIL stuff in just a second. Maybe we're behind. Maybe we're not. Maybe we didn't drop a big enough bag for Shaz Preston to come. I don't know. I don't know. But do you really think Alabama paid all three of those guys $50K to come to their school or $25K to come to their school? I mean, it's plausible, but I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there. I don't know. I don't know. Birchman Rodrigue, welcome to the channel. Good to see you, man. So let me go back to Max's super chat here. Okay. So Max, tell me this. So Max, I'm going to take your opinion on this more seriously than most because you do keep up with recruiting pretty closely. If Jacoby Matthews commits to LSU, okay, or let's start with this question first. Type J for Jacoby, type H for Harold Perkins. Who is the better recruit? Who's the more important recruit, right? Actually, I'll just do this for Max. Sip G, don't go watch Gibbs right now. Sip G, you're watching me right now. Sip G, I shouted you out earlier and you leave me? Really? All right. Let me make this a little bit easier. Birchman. I love that name. Birchman Rodrigue. Thank you, man. First time here and enjoy your show. There you go, Birchman. I'll introduce you to everyone. Brendan Caldwell is back in here. I love it. Band. Brendan Caldwell is the only viewer I know that was in the Golden Band of Tigerland, right? Sip G, I need all your focus on me, son. Me! I love it. I don't want both. I didn't say both, right? I said one. Pick one. Reed and Pegasus, you're in here every night, and neither one of you have changed your profile. Okay? I have to put my face out in front of all these beautiful people, and you guys just put a single letter out there. Brendan, I want you to change your photo to you with the golden band of Tigerland. Towboat! Towboat! I'm mad at you, Towboat. Don't give me the work excuse, Towboat. Don't give it to me. Towboat, I know you're a big Jeremy Hill fan. You missed the Jeremy Hill interview. Towboat, I'm calling you out. You used to be in here every day with Ulysses. You were in every one of our fantasy drafts. But Towboat says no. Towboat said no. I care about you anymore. Come on, Towboat. I even know you by your real name, Towboat. Your real name's not even Matthew. It's Towboat Tiger. It's like one of the coolest names because there's like 1,000 different LSU fans that have boats, but you're the Towboat Tiger. Harold Perkins winning the poll so far. That's for you, Max. Harold is a beast. Little dude, let me correct this. It is acceptable to lose some because kids are going to do what they want to do, right? There are some players who need to get away from some of the people that surround them. That's why they have to go to a different school, right?
Is the internet working?
Oh, it started working on here. Here, you take these.
No, leave those. Can I have the other
Yeah.
Is that them? Okay. Thank you.
Take these because they're connected to my thing for some reason.
To what?
To whatever. It's just buzzing.
Okay.
All right. Hey, baby. Love you, baby. Love you, baby.
Love you. Good night.
Jason Ray Hill Sr. Good to see you. I know. Towboat. I know. No one loves LSU running backs more than Towboat Tiger. Oh, Eli Ricks, yeah, that's unacceptable, right? You taste the waters of DBU, and then you say, look, I'm going elsewhere. Mo Funky's getting deep. Mo Funky, I really loved your Christmas jingle for my Santa photo from earlier. That was really good. It really put a smile on my face. Jason, welcome to the channel. Good to see you, man. DRC, I'm doing good. Merry Christmas, man. Did you drink some eggnog? Are you a little buzzed? This seems a little too kind from DRC. Ryan said both of them. We need both of them. So you know what's funny, DBU7, his position coach, I was hosting something with Blake. I was hosting a Twitter space with Blake at Are You Serious? And his position coach jumped on there and said, look, we need to offer Xavier Thomas, right? So there we go. Okay, Birchman's a first timer. We always give first timers a lot of love on here. So Birchman, you got to keep coming back, man. I'm giving you a lot of love tonight because I love the mustache. I love the laid back vibes. It looks like you also served in our military. We have a lot of veterans and a lot of active military in here as well. So let's do a question for Mr. Birchman. Let's see how Reed's poll question. I said Reed. Max's poll question is doing. Harold Perkins looks like he is winning this poll. So Birchman, I'm going to do a poll on your question in just a second. Hope you're feeling welcome and loved. This is very key as well. You know, he's from Cali, not a true blood of LSU. There's some truth in that. There is. These kids want the bag, not a sign saying that we are the leader in the now. When other schools are giving their player $50K just to be on the team, if you can't offer this, you're losing. That's true. So what Ulysses is referring to is the Texas offensive line deal, where each and every offensive lineman that signs with Texas gets an automatic $50,000 a year. I think it's a year. Just to be a scholarship offensive line. So you could sign a scholarship and suck and not ever play. But if you're still on scholarship, you're getting a bag. You're getting a 50K. So so the only thing I hated about the Jeremy Hill interview, Cliff, is Jeremy Hill is in love with that Nick Saban. Because look, we all have our own meme that we like. Jeremy Hill loves doing the now quit asking. Oh man, Jay Hill's the best, man. That's why I kept his jersey up right up here. He is the king of that. No, quit asking. Quit asking. Oh, man. It's so good. Oh, man. Towboat. I pressured you into this. But I don't feel bad about it, Towboat. You're a key member. Haley always asks about our Mobile and Fairhope Tigers. We have a lot of them. Ultra Rider, Biscuit, and some dude named Jared. Some dude named Jared. I can't even think of his last name. He's married to somebody. I don't know. I think her name was like Natalie or something like that. Oh, I'm talking about Jared. It's going to be one of the few seasons like this with NIL. They'll put rules in to slow down the money. Bribing my way back in the good graces. Cliff, I don't see Tony in here. I don't see Tony in here at all. Tony said, look, Carter, I won the Jeremy Hill autograph card. I'm done. I'm maxed out. So quit asking. I love it, man. Freaking love it. That's cool. Jay Hill might jump in here a little bit later. I'll text him here in a bit. Ooh, David. Ooh. Garbage. Bryce Young is garbage. David, come on. Really? Garbage? When you know you would take him over any other quarterback in the SEC right the freak now? Garbage. Come on. All things considered, he actually played okay against us, right? So here's the thing, right? JL talked about this. Might not have been in our interview, but we talked about it on his show last time I was on there. So Bryce Young wasn't his best versus LSU, but the LSU defense was Egyptian hieroglyphics based on every bit of film study Alabama did prior. And I think, and I'm glad you brought this up, David, this is a little bit of an outside the box thought that I have, right? If you are a high school coach listening to this, hear me out, okay? I don't know as much about football as any coach. I'll be the first to tell you. But if I were a severe underdog, okay, I would do what LSU's defense did versus Alabama. If I'm an underdog in a game, I show them a brand new defense, okay? If I blitz a lot, I'm not going to blitz. If I play a 4-down line structure, I'm going to play a more 3-down line structure. If I play mostly cover 1, I'm going to play cover 2 against you, right? LSU might have unlocked something that more underdogs should do, right? But Bryce Young's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. And honestly, when I go back and look at the Alabama game, Durante actually made a few really bad mistakes in that game, but you can't really blame him a whole lot because our defense only gave up 6 yards. The only reason I would say Durante made the mistakes is because our safety placement in that game got a little weird on both of their touchdowns, their last touchdowns. So, yeah. No. Was it their last touchdown? Yeah, their last 2 touchdowns. But yeah, Bryce didn't have his best game against us. But I don't know any quarterback that would have had success. I mean, our defense, sometimes the other team's defense just beats your offense down. Also, I'll say this. There is someone you should be really pissed off at right now, and that's Brian Harsin, right? And TJ Finley. Because Alabama would not have had the same close in recruiting had they not made the playoff, right? It's amazing what making the playoff does for you. I don't know if they would have landed the same players that they would have landed. They still would have landed most of them, but it's just amazing when you get Alabama down, you have got to slay the MF Dragon, right? I hate it when teams try to back in wins versus Alabama, right? Auburn not going for 2 in the win in overtime, cowardly stuff, cowards. And I don't like coaches that coach like cowards, right? And I like Brian Harsin. He exceeded my expectations in year one. But you got to go for 2 in the win, right? So I hate it because Alabama shouldn't even be in the playoff. We should have beaten them that game. We came up short. Didn't have good quarterback play. Auburn should have beaten them that game. Came up short. They didn't have good quarterback play, and they tried to back into a win. There you go. Another coach cliche from Ryan. You play to win the game. So, you know what's funny, Matthew? I wasn't able to watch that part of the game. I was only able to watch overtime because we were doing a pregame stream for LSU Texas A&M. So I still haven't gone back and watched that Tank Bigsby play. I only watched the overtime where you got to go for 2 in the win. Every time in overtime, if you had the opportunity to go for 2 in the win, you need to do it before you get to that third overtime, because you're going to need to get a 2-point overtime. You're going to have to get a 2-point conversion to win the game in overtime anyway. So LSU was closest to beating Bama if it was A&M who actually won. I predict that Bama wins the Natty this year, then save. Oh, come on, please. Save is not stopping. So quit asking. I think every reporter out there is just too afraid. I just think every reporter is too afraid to ask him, when are you going to hang it up? Rashad. What's good, man? Shouldn't be in the playoffs. Should have lost, bro. Respectively, you sound ridiculous. What is this? Horseshoes? Champions found a way to. Touche. I'm not denying that Alabama didn't win, and I'm not denying that Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff. I'm just saying you got to slay the dragon. You got to go for 2 in the win. You got to put us in the game versus Alabama. So yeah, but I give Nick Saban a lot of credit. He found a way to win. So good for them. Jared. Oh, come on, Jared. Stop. A cat. Really? You won't find an LSU YouTuber more complimentary of Nick Saban than me. And I still have some good Bama viewers that come in and have respectful discussion. But the little, what I say, just a little bit of a criticism. Bama fans are come in here and say, you disrespect us. We deserve to be in the playoff. Are you not a Bama fan at all? Sounded like it. Either way, Rashad, welcome. And actually, it is ironic though, because your quote by the late great Michael K. Williams, it's true. You got to slay the dragon. You come at the king, you best not miss. And welcome to the channel, Rashad. I was just messing with you. I don't know. We should have been in better position to beat Alabama. If we had better quarterback play, we beat Alabama. But that's the thing. It's hard to find a quarterback that can get it done, right? Every once in a blue moon, a Zach Calzada is going to get it done. And TJ Finley was in position to get it done this year. So, yeah. And I'll also say this, Bama +7 versus Georgia is the crime of the century. Dang, me and Rashad are just getting off on the wrong foot here. I'm a football fan and a Georgia fan, right when I said that? Welcome to the channel, Rashad. Let's see here. I don't want to miss any other first-timers. Jared, you could pick the next topic. Anything you want to talk about, we'll go straight to it. Bribing my way back into good graces. Towboat. If you are in here, please hit the like button. If you haven't already. I got Michigan slaying Georgia. Georgia actually matches up pretty well with Michigan. They do. Let's see. It's right here. There we go. Oh, Cliff paying dues? Cliff's paying dues. All right, let's do this. Make Cliff the new play. Harold Perkins won this poll, not by much. I thought Harold Perkins was going to win this one by a pretty wide margin. I'm a Harold Perkins stan, though, big time. Do I love him as much as I love JoJo Earl? I don't know. But JoJo Earl might not pan out. Very injured this year. All right. So, Cliff, you get the poll question now. I'm not going to lie. DBU7 makes a really good point here. I don't know if I've seen a pair of defensive ends better than Michigan's in a very long time. I'm trying to remember, like, I'm trying to think the best pair of defensive ends, right? So did Nick Bosa and Chase Young, were they ever on the same defensive line? So if that's true, then they're the best. But Aiden Hutchinson and Ojabo, they are machines. So, yeah, I mean, it's got to – I mean, I guess Chase Young and Bosa would be number one. But Ojabo and Hutchinson, they're good too. Neither one of them is as good as those other two guys, but they're still really good, right? So I guess Nick Bosa and Chase Young. I agree with Rashad here. I think that matches up really well, right? I don't know. I've watched Michigan some. They do have the receivers to get vertical, but they're not as vertical of a team as they're not as vertical of a team as Alabama. And boom. Right? So I'm about to give you guys a little bit of game here, right? I don't know a lot, but I do watch a fair bit of film. Steve, thank you for the super chat. We get to pick the next topic. Loving the photo, Steve. I just love seeing happiness right there. So let me throw this out there, okay? In order for you to win against the elites without elite quarterback play, you have to have someone that's really good between the headset, right? So that's like Bill Snyder. Like Bill Snyder is probably the best between the headset of all time, right? He's up there. Let's see. Someone else who's really good between the headset. Brett Bielema is really good. Now he's weak in a lot of other areas. He's really good at putting together a game plan. There's a lot of coaches who are good. Nick Saban's obviously good between the headset, but I was trying to think of some extreme examples. I'm not a big fan of Kirby between the headset. I think he's good. Obviously, he is a really good coach. He knows how to recruit. He knows defense. He knows how to build one whale of a staff. He knows how to build depth, and that's something he's really good at. His teams are always really deep, right? Kirby's teams every year have a crap ton of injuries. They still win a lot of freaking games. But you can still win a lot. Kyle Whittingham's a really good one. That's a perfect one, actually. Kyle's probably top 5, right? So Utah's coach. Malzahn's pretty good too. Probably a little bit more of a talented play caller, which is obviously between the headset as well. But, you know, there's some coaches who are really good at managing a game, right? Kirby's not, but you can overcome that if you have one of these guys right here, okay? If you have a Joe Burrow, right, it doesn't matter who's between the headset because Joe Burrow is going to figure you out, right? There's no better coach on the field than your quarterback, right? Especially if you have an elite one. So if you have an elite quarterback, it doesn't matter who you have between the headset, right? Because they have so much effect on the game and how the plays are actually run out, right? Georgia has neither of those, right? Obviously, Stetson Bennett's a really good story. I don't think he's a bad quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think Kirby's a bad coach, but maybe Rashad can, or one of our new viewers here, can speak to this. Kirby was really shaky in that Cincinnati game. They won. I thought they outplayed Cincinnati as far as yards per player are concerned. They found a way to win, but still, it was a little rough. We'll see. But keep this in mind, Georgia doesn't have to play as many close games because they're in the SEC East as they do if they were in the SEC West. Okay? Once again, this isn't the Kirby chat, so I won't spend too much time. Them bobbleheads, baby. Let me see. I hope I didn't miss out on Steve's question here. Steve Robinson, the floor is yours, my friend. There you go. So this is from a Georgia fan right here. Once again, really cool avatar. RIP. You know what's very interesting, BRC, about the SEC East? So there's this guy, really probably my favorite member of the media right now in the SEC. His name is Wes Blankenship, and he does these mock high school broadcasts, right? And I freaking love him. And he made an interesting point. Like, he did a 1 a.m. live stream. It was random from Stanford last night. And it's very interesting that Georgia rarely plays legendary home games because every year, of course, they play their toughest SEC East game in Jacksonville. So a lot of their East games that they play are never classics. And, they played a classic against us, that Mettenberger game with Jarvis and Odell. They also lost a Hail Mary game versus Tennessee. But Wes made an interesting point, and I didn't think about it. We are very lucky as LSU fans that all of our big conference games just happen in Tiger Stadium, right? I'm not a big fan of the neutral site stuff. A&M and Arkansas got to do the thing in Dallas. College games should be played in college stadiums. End of rant. This is a good question here from Steve. All right. First thing, obviously, Steve, as far as the bowl game is concerned, are you going? I want to know right now. Let me know if you are going to the bowl game, whether you're Steve, whether you're Robert. Robert's definitely going. Who's going to the bowl game? Let me know in the comment section right now if you're going to the bowl game. But obviously, as far as the bowl game is concerned, Steve, we just talked about Kansas State and Bill Snyder. Obviously, he's not the coach anymore. But Kansas State is still good old Kansas State, right? They have a really good running back. Ironically, the running back reminds – Steve, so you are going, man. Shoot me an email, man. powerhourlsu@gmail.com. Or if you're on Twitter or Instagram, follow me there. You could send me a message on there. My DMs are open. What's interesting, Steve? It's weird because their running back reminds me a lot of Clyde, Deuce Vaughn. 3-star back. I think he wears number 22. Just an animal, right? Not the most athletic guy in the world, but he could just flat out play, right? Clyde's like that as too. He's not an elite athlete. He could just play, right? And Clyde's a really good athlete, but as many of you know, he's not like Trenton Holiday fast or whatever. But still, Deuce Vaughn is very similar. Okay, Nathan, you're going to the bowl game. Okay, shoot me an email, man. I'm gonna try and do a meetup or something like that. Nathan, welcome to the channel. I love the dogs. Nathan, is this your first time commenting? Good to hear from you. Good to see you. See, look at you, Steve. You bringing the whole world together. I love it, man. We can all meet up. I'm going to try and make it, right? King Robert, I'm definitely going to go to Houston at some point and meet my guy, King Robert. Oh, Nathan, you got to comment more, man. Look at this. You got the professional family photo. You got the dogs, the dog. Your little dog right here. Your other half holding the little dog who reminds me of Haley's mom's dog, Tartar. Her name's Tartar. Her name's Roxy, but they call her Tartar. And speaking of, why do women have to have 30 different names for a dog? Right? Men, we call our dog one name. We call it the name that we give it. Women give 30,000 different names for their puppies. Okay? It can't just be Roxy. It's got to be Tartar. What is the one thing you know about the 2022 LSU Tigers? Ultra, you changed your photo. And by the way, Ultra is a new dad, and he's also part of the PHL Mobile chapter. So tonight, I know for certain that we've gotten more donations from the state of Alabama in super chats, outside of King Robert, of course, than anywhere else. We've gotten a lot of Alabamas. So we are wondering why Alabama's got all this NIL money. Apparently, Mobile and Montgomery and Tuscaloosa, where we have a ton of viewers, ironically, has all this money. Huh? I feel like I'm in the Jerry Maguire scene, except I'm in the middle of Tuscaloosa. Show me the money, Bama Tiger fans. I love it. I freaking love it. But why is this? Okay, I promise I'm going to get into your super chats. But I do know that most of you warm-blooded mammals out there are actually dog owners, all right? People that are cat owners aren't actually warm-blooded mammals. You are reptiles. You're from a different planet. I don't know how you deal with the cats. But dog owners, men, we have one name for the dog. Women, they start saying stuff that doesn't even make sense. Like, y'all know Bug. I remember Bug, R.I.P. Bug. So we had Bug the dog. We had Booger. We had Mama. I don't know why I call her Mama. Then we had her number one Gunga. That's what Haley would call her. And then she will call her Curmudge. What the heck is a Curmudge? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. We'll get to the madhouse thing in just a second, Tomcat. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. So really quickly, Steve, to finish up on your bowl question thing, I don't know who we're going to play at quarterback. Steve, if you were going to put, if you're going to ask me right now, hey Carter, who do you think the quarterback's going to be for the bowl game? Steve, I would say it would be Matt O'Dowd at this point. I know that's not who you want. You want Garrett Nussmeier to just burn the red shirt and go. I'm being honest here, I've had a bunch of people close to Nuss reach out to me, right? Some not too happy with how I've addressed this situation. I feel like I've been fair, and I've said the entire time Garrett Nussmeier wants to play, just let him play. Just forget the red shirt. Life is too short. It is 95 degrees in December, okay? We're melting. Just let the kid play, right? Let him go out there and freaking play, okay? Let him play. Burn the red shirt, right? Burn it. Because here's the thing. Win this job now. Win this job now. Put some good game copy out there and say you're the guy. Say you're the guy. But Seth says, gotta admit, Seth has a top 10 PHL photo. Hard to go against. Fighting for our country, putting an IV inside of a Black Hawk. See, Seth, I remember these things. Can't beat that, really. Seth says, Carter, let Matt O'Dowd live his dream. Let Tavion Falk live his dream. Burn the red shirt. All right, Steve, you're the one that super chat. Steve, you were the one who super chatted. And Steve, you are putting your hard-earned money into going to this bowl game, okay, Steve? Steve, you're putting your hard-earned money into going into this bowl game. Steve, let me know who you want to play quarterback. Steve Robinson, I'm looking at you right now. Thank you for your generous super chat. I want you to let me know who you want to play quarterback. Okay, let's go to Ultra Super Chat. Once again, Ultra, congratulations to you. I remember the night Ultra had his lovely daughter here. He sent me an email when you were in the emergency room, which was really cool. I'm just glad you thought of me like that. It was cool to be a part, be in your atmosphere virtually there. So that's really cool. First off, we always say this, shout out to all the super chat. Shout out to all our super dads. King Ulysses is out there. Carvison in here tonight. Jared's out there. All our super dads of PHL. Always remember that is your top job. Spending time with your little one. But there's no better way to spend your time with your little ones than watching PHL, okay? Every time I hear about a super dad on this channel, I get excited. I was very lucky to have my father in my life. He's still a big part of my life. Haley's dad is a super huge part of my life as well. I'm very lucky. I know I'm spoiled in that sense. Super dads. It's you. Steve is like, Garrett, please. Steve said, look, Carter, I'm putting on. And Steve, you might live in Houston. I don't know. But Steve's like, look, Carter, I got me and the wife tickets. We have a dog as well, and she probably calls her 1,000 different names. I'm kidding. I don't know if you have a dog or not. Just doing a callback joke. But anyway, Steve, I understand. It's hard to, as an LSU fan, because LSU fans, look, even though we haven't played in as many high-profile games, we've had a lot of these Outback Bowls, these next-tier bowl games. We still care a lot about them. We still go. I remember once it was announced that LSU was playing Lamar Jackson in Orlando, I called my dad. I was like, Dad, we got to go. We got to hop in a plane and go see Lamar and Jamal Adams and Arden Key and Dante Jackson. It's still crazy to think about how much talent was on that field. Steve, I'm not going to lie. I want to go to this bowl game, not necessarily for the bowl game, but just to get to meet most of you, most notably Robert. Robert, obviously, we wouldn't have a channel without Robert. We honestly wouldn't. Haley and I definitely wouldn't have been able to pursue our this full-time journey that we're on right now altogether. But that I actually just want to go hang out with you guys at the bowl game, right? Because it's hard for me, even though I love every single game, right? It's hard for me to get excited about going to see us play Kansas State with a walk-on quarterback, right? It's just hard to get really excited about that. And that's the thing that Chris, that's really cool. That's the thing that POs me, right? Just play, Garrett. Just play it. Pizza delivery guy. Seth has a top 1 photo. But anyway, Ultra, I'm sorry, I got to answer your super chat, Nan. But I wanted to shout out you being a super dad, okay? What is the one thing you know about the 2022 LSU Tigers? What is the one thing that I know? The one thing. It's a really good yet very simple to the point question. The one thing I know is that we're going to be better coached next season, right? Now, it doesn't take much. I can't get over, and I know I dwell on this so much, but I can't get over how poorly coached we were this past year, especially when everyone's job was kind of on the line, which is kind of the sad part about this whole thing. So, yeah. I think Brian Kelly, who's really good between the headset, will be better between the headset. Also, something else I know going into next season is we still have Jack Besh. We still have Brian Thomas Jr. We still have Malik Neighbors. If those three continue to put in the work with KAYSHON, we're going to probably have the best wide receiver unit in the SEC going into next season. That's one thing I know. Another thing I know is that I am really excited about Brad Davis returning. I'm not going to lie. I'm not just saying this because we are where we are right now. Out of all the assistant coaches I wanted to keep the most, it was Brad, right? He seems special. And it's not just the press conference saying, which obviously he's murdering these press conferences. He says all the right things. He'll probably be a head coach in the next 2 or 3 years, right? I thought Brad did a really good job with this unit. I really did. Austin Deculus, you notice every live stream we did last year, I kept hearing complaints about Austin Deculus. Honestly, for those that were with me, and I'm talking to the Jareds, I'm talking to the Ulysses, the guys that were with me all of 2020, okay? How many times did people complain about Austin Deculus? It was a lot, right? This year, we never talked about him because he was good, right? He wasn't Orlando Pace, but he was good. He was really good. So Brad Davis coming back is a good thing. Something else I do know, Ultra, is that there's going to be some bad bumps along the road. It happens. But I do think we'll be better. Do we go 6-6 next year? I don't know, Ultra. That's a good question. So I really do love the open-ended nature of this question. It's very early. Obviously, we're going to have the entire offseason to talk about the 2022 Tigers. But yeah, for sure. So thank you, Ultra, for the super chat. And thank you once again for being a super dad. Got some Landon Ibieta fans in here. Got to say, Grant Yinny is the president of the Landon Ibieta fan club. I just love this response from Steve. And I'm not just saying this because he super chatted. I can understand Steve because Houston's a fun city. Like, Houston's a big LSU city. It just is. There's so many. There's a lot of LSU in Houston, right? And Houston's a transient city. They have a lot of everything there. But the bottom line is, if you're going to a bowl game and you're paying money to get hotels and all that, you don't want to go with the walk-on quarterback. And it's just not. It's just not. Chris, what's good, man? Yeah, so I still get a lot of these, right? I've been listening to you for years, dog. Back in like 2018, I was doing a podcast. So yeah, I'll go through this really quickly. All right. So I was a student at LSU, right? I started a blog. I did some ESPNU stuff as a student. Nothing too big, nothing too crazy. Then my LSU journey just kept getting crazier. So I worked in Washington, D.C. for a little bit. Then I was writing for thank you, Roger, for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. So I was writing for Bleacher Report, and I wrote for Bleacher Report, SB Nation, a few other sites for a little bit. And then I did a podcast for SEC Country, and that was around 2017. 2017, I think early 2018, I was doing a podcast for them. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, those SEC Country days. It was a fun podcast. I talked to Sam Spiegelman a lot. Sam's really talented, as many of you know. Really, really, really talented. And Nick Suss, Alex Hickey. It was a lot of fun. Not going to lie, it was a lot of fun. LJ, you're going to the game? That's good stuff. All right, so I need to plan something so we can all meet up there. I would say probably right now I'm at 75% going. We'll see. So LJ, Steve, a few more of you in here. If you are going to the game, LJ, you got my contact information. Steve, whoever, please shoot me an email or comment down below. And I was in Canada at the time. He was like my only source for LSU news. And it's funny, Chris, because the offensive coordinator at the time was Matt Canada. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I love this TRU. I really do. I'm happy for Austin. It's amazing how much an offensive line coach changes things, right? I think Brad's really good, guys. I really do. I really, really do. Helps if Sam Pittman's your mentor. What's up, Britt? Here you go, Steve. I'll write it out for you. There you go, Steve. You going to the game too, Tomcat? Well, we definitely got to do a meetup. There we go. All right, Pegasus, here's the thing about the Tom Herman thing, okay? I like Tom Herman a lot, but if he was going to be the offensive coordinator, I think it would have already happened by now. I still think Denbrock is going to be the guy, right? He's offensive coordinator at Cincinnati. He was with Brian Kelly for over 10 years, so yeah. Weston Galleria. There you go, LJ. Y'all are martini-ing up. I like it. And Jared, I had to get up so early this morning for the Santa Claus thing. So yeah. Over the past 5 minutes, I've gotten a few Blake Baker questions. So I'll go back. I'll go back into Blake Baker if you super chat. I know a lot of you don't want to talk about it anymore. So yeah, I don't mind going back into it, but I want to touch on a few other things, such as Denbrock, right? I think Denbrock's a really good coach, right? Obviously, you know, the success he's had at Cincinnati is pretty incredible. Once again, it's not as if Cincinnati's offense is just this overpowering juggernaut. They're still good though, right? And he would fit well with what Brian Kelly wants to do. So yeah, you know, I'm very interested in old Denbrocky. Let's see. Good job, Chris. Well, we need you in here more often, man. What kind of ride are you sitting on here, man? Is that a Maserati? I don't know anything about cars. But Chris, I need to get on your level, man. God, you got that Jake Paul money, huh? Ain't that right, Patrick? Ain't nothing better than hanging out on a live stream, man. Don't forget, guys. So we'll have our normal live stream on Tuesday, just like this one. And then on Thursday, we'll talk to Van Lathan of The Ringer and a super diehard LSU fan who I talk to a lot. Van and I have become really close friends, and he's also been one of the biggest supporters of the channel. As you guys saw, he was dropping some really nice donations during our Jeremy Hill interview. And once again, people like Van, people like King Robert are the reason why I'm getting to do this every single day. It's a lot of fun. Caucus! Good to see you. I think Brennan would do really well in a Denbrock offense. Yeah. Let's see. You know what, DB7? Let's talk about this for a little bit. The Denbrock offense looks a little Jimbo Fisher-like. Okay, so I'm going to say something that's going to disappoint a lot of you. Okay, but it's a 2019 Camaro convertible with LSU tags. Even better than a Maserati. 10 out of 10 of you would not take a Maserati over a 2019 Camaro convertible with LSU tags. And you live in Alabama? I'm telling you, I think we have more viewers in Alabama than we do in Louisiana. I love that. Seth, what's good, man? Thanks, Seth changed up the photo again. Or is this I might be getting it confused. As long as we get an OC who can get plays in on time, true. I have a few thoughts on that as well. And a DC that doesn't take half a season to learn how to blitz, we should do much better. Absolutely. What's good, Greg? So here's what I'm going to say that's going to disappoint a lot of you. Okay. Part of the reason why I'm being as kind as I am right now is I'm about to say something that's going to disappoint a lot of you. And I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave this live stream before I actually say what I'm about to say. Okay. So I'm just going to go on and give you the opportunity, right? Because I only want diehard, open-minded LSU fans to hear this. Okay. So Brian Kelly has some Jimbo Fisher qualities. Now, it's not a bad thing. There is no coach in college football who has done a more impressive job building a program the last 3 or 4 years than Jimbo Fisher. Okay? It's really hard to start recruiting in the top 5 annually. And this is essentially the 3rd straight year that he's done this. Okay? Birchman, good to meet you. Safe travels. Kevin, a first-timer. Welcome to the channel, Kevin. We would much rather see your wonderful face this holiday season. Central Louisiana. People don't give Alexandria and Pineville and all our Central Louisiana love. We underrate Central Louisiana, right? It's either North Louisiana or South Louisiana. But we wouldn't be anywhere without Alexandria, baby. And the cartoon water tower thing, I love it. With the little water drip, with the little water glass. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, Alexandria is slept on big time. They have a Chick-fil-A. Something else that's cool about Pineville is Louisiana College. When you're passing over that overpass, you can see in the stadium. That's so cool, right? But the truth is, I knew Mo Funky would say, look, I got to go. Is that Jimbo Fisher's a really good coach. He's really good. He's really, really good. Outside of the between the headsets thing, right? We were touching on this earlier. Jimbo is not that great between the headsets. The game is kind of past him when it comes to that aspect. And even if you are the most diehard Texas A&M fan on the planet, whoever you are, Max, let me know if you're still in here. Okay, so Max, I was getting ready to do a live stream last week. Max dropped the Texas 8-4 joke. I almost destroyed my entire setup. Almost spit water all over the place, right? Texas A&M, what they're doing right now should piss you off. It pisses me off, but it's impressive. It's very impressive. But what about the NIL money? And their pockets are super deep. Who freaking cares? It's part of the game. And the bottom line is kids aren't just going to sign a gazillion-dollar contracts and walk into a situation where the coach is a chicken with its head cut off. No, Jimbo Fisher's got his stuff together. He just sucks at play calling, right? My biggest concern is Jimbo giving the keys of the offense to someone else, right? So what does that mean? Brian Kelly's got some Jimbo to him, right? He knows how to build a program. He knows how to build a staff. He knows how to organize a program. Really good at schmoozing the boosters and doing all the extracurricular stuff, right? Like Jimbo, his history in terms of off the field morality isn't all that up to snuff. Even if you're the most diehard LSU fan, you would acknowledge that as well. It's just the truth. But still, a lot of Jimbo strengths, Brian Kelly strengths. But they do share one thing in common. Somewhat of an outdated view on offenses. But this is a major difference between the two of them. And this is why I would still take Brian Kelly over Jimbo Fisher, is Brian Kelly lets someone else call the plays. Right? The best thing you can do as a head coach is understand what you're good at and what you're not good at. Jimbo Fisher is not a good quarterback developer, and he's not a good play caller, in particular on the road, right? So, Brian Kelly, hire a good OC, let him do what he does best, and you just do what you do best, which is everything else, right? Also, the bootleggers are very important. What's up, Tez? Also, it helps that we own Texas A&M. We do. Let's go. So, Aaron. Aaron's always bowed up in that photo. I love it, man. I need to get on your diet. I need to get on your weightlifting plan. What's up, Carl? Yeah, I got the fresh cut, man. My line is not as fresh as yours, though. Kidding. Look at this, man. Razor sharp right there. God, dog it. Cut my finger. Huh? I'm kidding. I didn't cut my finger. That was a bad joke, but my line is super sharp. You can't handle it. You can't handle it. Carvis! I was waiting on you. I shouted you out because Carvis is one of our many super dads. Damn it. And I just cursed on here. I knew whenever I shared. It's got to be a. Let's see. Let's talk about offensive line. Carvis is probably like our top offensive line commenter. I love it. We were talking about your guy Deculus a little bit earlier, playing a lot better. Our offensive line should be legit. Left tackle Cam Wire, Will Campbell. Left guard Garrett Dellinger, Marlon Martinez. Center Chasen Hines, Charles Turner. I would probably have them flipped. I think Charles Turner's going to win this job. Right guard Bradford Thomas. It depends if Cardell decides. It depends if Anthony Bradford decides to come back. Right tackle Marcus Dumerville, Miles Frazier. Very interesting, right? I know Big Al demonetized. All right, Carvis, let's talk about this. I actually disagree with Carvis. I'm not gonna lie. I only agree on left guard. I think Dellinger will be the starting left guard or left tackle. I think Miles Frazier will start. Let me give you my offensive line. I'm gonna go Miles Frazier at left tackle. Left guard, I'm gonna go Dellinger. Center, I'm gonna go Charles Turner. Right guard, I'm gonna go Chasen Hines, even though I think he should be replaced. And then at right tackle, ooh, that's gonna be tough. That's tough. Obviously, Carvis, you know a lot about offensive line play, so this I think Cam Wire will be the starting right tackle. So I would go Frazier, Dellinger, Turner, Hines, Wire. That's how I think it's going to start. Now, how would I start it? Big Al is really leaving. Big Al, don't leave me just yet. How would I start it? Big Al, also part of the Alabama PHL chapter, the treasurer of PHL. How would I start it? I would go. I think Emory Jones is a real deal, so I would start him somewhere. So I would probably go Frazier, Jones, Dellinger at center if he can handle it. Right guard, I'm actually going to go Cam Wire at right guard. His right guard tape is actually really good. And then at right tackle, I am Bo Borderline. Come on, Sean, you're better than that. He's not going to be a year one guy. And I like Borderline, but he's year two. Frazier, more of a right tackle, but I hope he's a left tackle. Okay, so I'm an Emory Jones guy, so let me – I haven't really thought about the starting offensive line. I know I'm doing a lot of conceptual stuff here. Let's go left tackle Frazier, left guard Dellinger, center Turner, Emory Jones right guard, Cam Wire right tackle. Okay? But here's the thing. Cardell Thomas had a decent game versus Texas A&M. So hopefully he proves us all wrong, Carvis. I do. I think he's my number one player in 2022. And you guys know I'm not a true freshman kind of guy, like day one kind of guy. I think he's good. I don't think he's good. I think he's special. And once again, it's hard to go first round if you're not a tackle, which I don't think Emory Jones will be a tackle. But yeah, he's really good. He's really good. I think this is pretty accurate here. Frazier, Dellinger, Turner, Jones, Wire. I would be fine with that. Martinez can play center. But yeah, I tend to agree with this as well, Carvis. So I would also not start a true freshman day one. So scratch Emory Jones, even though I think he'd be the best option there. So let's do this. Let's go Frazier, Dellinger, Turner, Cam Wire, and the right tackle. We'll make Cam Wire the right tackle and Cardell the right guard. I'm a little past the Jason Hines era. And then Will Campbell and Emory Jones and Doomerville off the bench. Frazier, Bradford. I don't know if Anthony Bradford's coming back. Maybe you guys know something that I don't know. Martinez, Dellinger, Wire. That's not a bad group. Yeah, it does. Ooh, we'll have a better O-line. We're going to have some bad games there next year. It's just too much inexperience. I hope we're better. Fingers crossed on that. I'll also say this. Ed Ingram was an All-American after the Kentucky game. He was really good from that point on. Liam also had better games towards the end of the year. And Deculus also was incredible this year. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have some bad games next year, but that just happens, right? Oh, Tobo, blaming the newborn why you haven't been here, Tobo. Really? You're going to blame the newborn? Carvis just got in here, Tobo. And you're going to do this? You're going to do this? Dellinger is a guard who can play tackle. Left tackle is hard. Yeah, Carvis, you and I have talked about this Texas A&M game. Wasn't great for Dellinger, which is ironic because he was the highest graded left tackle according to PFF the week before against ULM. So it's interesting, how much different it is when you're going up against ULM defensive linemen and then NFL guys the next week. Bucci, we'll see you later, my friend. Good to see you again, man. Deculus is 30. Martinez is the only guy besides Liam that snapped this season. Turner snapped some. It was in garbage time, but still he snapped some. Who will win Bama versus Texas A&M next year? I have no idea. Bama, because they're Bama. And A&M would be on the road, and A&M is bad on the road. Go best players. Jared says put the best players out there. F experience. I like it. I do. More Zach Evans. I think Frazier was left tackle at FIU. I'm pretty certain about that. Once again, I haven't been able to dive too deep into his tape yet, but I would guess he would have had better offensive tackle tape than Dellinger would. So, and once again, that would be on either side. And once again, Dellinger had one bad game against the best defensive line he played all year. So once again, and he's a true freshman going up against adults for the first time. So it's hard. Let's see here. McAneoli? I like that. Let's go. Let's see here. Good question here from Matthew. I think you're a first timer. Let's see. Obviously Bash, BTJ, and Neighbors, right? Those would be probably my three favorite, just to see them make that year two jump. Most great LSU wide receivers make their big jump in year two. So yeah. Those three, obviously. Let's go a little deeper cut. Obviously, getting Mason and Sage fully healthy would be fun to see. As far as year two, the most excited is the other guys in that class, right? So here's the thing about that 2021 cycle. So take Derek Davis Jr., Greg Penn, Matthew Langlois, Savion Jones, Bryce Langston, all those names there. Let's put it this way. When you have a recruiting class that's a little thin the next year and you lose a lot of production, you're going to get your opportunity to play a lot. Okay, so think of all the production LSU is replacing next year. So Damon Clark and Micah Baskerville are gone. Neil Farrell. Well, Baskerville, I believe, could come back if he wanted to. Neil Farrell's gone. He's going to get paid. And not only that, right? You North Louisiana guys, right? You guys heard it on Twitter all day. People crapping on Shreveport. Why is the weather always bad at the Independence Bowl? Why do they still have a bowl game in Shreveport? So look, I'm about to give you some game right here. One of the more underrated North Louisiana Tigers was Cam Lewis this year. Cam was phenomenal for us, right? When he wasn't even expected to play, he was buried in the depth chart. I don't think there's a single human being on this planet that thought Cam Lewis was going to be like Cam Lewis was for us this year. He's gone, right? There's not going to be a Cam Lewis 17th year senior there to save us. There's no Rona year to save us. Think about how much the Rona year saved our roster this year. Deculus got the extra year of eligibility. Cam Lewis got the extra year of eligibility. It just made it a lot better for our depth this year. There's a lot of production that needs to get replaced, right? And it's also very important whenever you start replacing that production, you can't just worry about who the next guy is going to be. It's the guy after that, right? So Gregory with the very generous Cash App here. Okay. How do you think Myles will do this year? We do this for you, Gregory. Let's check in on the latest poll question. Tom Herman for next offensive coordinator. Taking a look at the poll results here. Okay. Most of you are not excited about that. A lot of Danny Lewis love in here. So here's what I'm going to do for you, Gregory. All right, Gregory, this is for you. All right, Gregory. Now, this poll question's for Gregory. This is not who do you think will start. Who do you want to start next year? Okay, not who do you think will start. Who do you want to start? Okay. Why do I keep calling you Gregory anyway? I just go by the name that's on the thing. Greg, thank you as always for the super chat. Greg, did you get your booger bands? Please tell me you got your booger bands. If you did, send me a photo, please. Okay. Is TDP going into the draft? Yeah. He's definitely going to go. I think he should go as well. Mr. Raising Canes himself, Myles Brennan. Okay. So, Greg, you've been with me for a while, right? And, we've done a lot of Myles Brennan film studies. So the first thing is I'm really excited to, well, Greg, hit me up on the gram, man. Show me photos of you rocking the book bands, man. You get instant strength and energy with the book band nation. Also, tonight, once again, I want to shout out my student radio station, KLSU, giving me my first opportunity. So here's the thing, normal guy. You got the Peanuts avatar. I don't want a maybe Walker Howard. I want certainty. I want you to give me your definitive response. Ooh, Karis, bold prediction here. I like it. Okay. Brian Garcia, we'll get to the coordinators. We've talked about them quite a bit. Once again, I know a lot of you have brought up the Matt House name from the Chiefs. I just don't know anything. I mean, guys, I'll always say this. I'll never lie to you. I'll never lie to you. I know he's been a coordinator a lot in the college level, so it would make sense. I just couldn't tell you, right? New merch is coming soon, Jared. I'm actually getting with a new distributor. I know that sounded very Walter White-ish. Yeah. My new distributor is Gustavo Fring. Kidding. The ones that get that reference, you're my type of guys and gals. Jesse, good to see you. So, Gregory. Greg. Once again, Greg's got a Type 5 avatar. I love it, man. I love seeing y'all's families. I love seeing you guys smiling in your avatar. I also love seeing you guys repping the LSU. I also like seeing photos of you in Tiger Stadium. Only 7 times a year. 8 if you're lucky. Can you take that photo in Tiger Stadium? Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan got the reference, the Breaking Bad reference. My new merch distributor got the blue, baby. We're going to front as a car wash and a fast food fried chicken joint, like Gustavo Fring and Walter White would love us to. We're going to sell the good stuff, baby. Only the blue. Only the blue. We're going to cook it up, put them in barrels. Let's go. Let's go. So, Gregory, I know you just want to go by Greg. Greg, I like Myles Brennan a lot. Now, let's go through the pluses and minuses of Myles Brennan's game. Okay, it's about to get a little nerdy. So if you like diehard LSU football talk, come right along. So Myles Brennan in 2 of 3 games as a starter had a QBR of 70 plus, which is really good. So normally ESPN does a stat, QBR, and it's a grade of how you perform 1 to 100. Now, the reason why I use QBR, even though I don't fully understand it, the one thing I like about QBR is it at least attempts to calibrate your strength of the opposition, while at the same time including your rushing stats and so many other factors. EPA per play, QBR is just a really good formula, right? So this was driving me nuts. I know this is a little bit of a diatribe, Greg, away from Myles Brennan, but the crap that drives me nuts about Max Johnson is A&M fans are rubbing it in our face LSU ran off a quarterback that was 27 touchdowns and 6 interceptions when, as many of you know, that is very misleading when it comes to Max Johnson. He had very lucky turnover luck. He was quicksand in the pocket. He made a lot of misreads. His numbers actually should have been a lot worse in a lot of ways. So this is why I like QBR, because QBR gives you a more accurate reflection. So in 3 games Myles Brennan started, he had a QBR north of 70 twice. Max Johnson, in the 11 Power 5 games he has started, has only had a QBR north of 70 twice. So is Myles Brennan a for certain upgrade over Max Johnson? I would say so, but once again, the sample is smaller. And one of those games came against Vanderbilt. And in his first start, his QBR versus Mississippi State was 40-something. I think it's a little unfair to give it a 40 because Jason Hines missed every blocking assignment known to mankind in that game. Also, that was Myles Brennan's very first start, which I'm very sympathetic to. Very first time starters in a Power 5 situation. Also, our defense was playing absolute trash, and Myles Brennan really had to carry us. And it didn't help that our receivers were dropping everything known to mankind in that game. So Myles Brennan, he missed a lot of throws in that Mississippi State game. It was very concerning. It was very bad. It was weird. I was like, God, Myles, are you really this bad? But he turned out to have a decent game. So you have that game, and then you had the Vanderbilt game where he was phenomenal, only threw one bad throw, and that was picked off. And then you had the Missouri game where, once again, Myles Brennan was phenomenal. Now, there's some asterisks to it. Once again, the level of competition wasn't really that great. Once again, QBR calibrates for that, and it does make him look a lot better. Also, versus Missouri, Myles Brennan was very active with his feet, but took some unnecessary hits in that game as well. Here are some major criticisms of Myles Brennan, okay? Obviously, this is the major plus right here, is that he can push the football down the field. He has a powerful arm and is accurate, equally as immobile as Max. I think Max has a little bit more juice, but I do tend to agree with that. But also, Greg, here's something else I'll say about Myles Brennan. Going back and watching the film, my biggest concern is that a lot of his throws were one-read throws, where he would find the open guy, but rarely would you see him throw to the second guy. So his throwing ability was so accurate, and Terrace Marshall would get open so quickly that it didn't matter. He never really had to go to option number 2. So if you go back and watch his throw, it was his first touchdown throw versus Vanderbilt to Terrace Marshall. It actually should have been picked off, but Terrace Marshall made one of the more ridiculous midair cutoffs on a throw to where he was able to undercut the safety and catch a touchdown. And Myles Brennan in that situation stared him down. So he got a little bit of an interception luck there. So the next step for Myles Brennan as a passer, obviously the first thing, Greg, the first thing is obviously his health. That's going to be the most important thing. The second thing is, can he still at the same time give you something as a runner? We're not talking about being spectacular as a runner, but can he give you something? The third thing is, obviously, can he become a second read guy, right? We're going to have a lot of talent at skill positions. KAYSHON is every bit as good, if not better, than Terrace. But still, he also had fully healthy Eric Gilbert, fully locked in Eric Gilbert, who, when Myles was quarterback, was actually pretty phenomenal. He's not going to have that, obviously, but he'll have Jack Besh and those guys. But still, can Myles become a second read quarterback? Can he go, instead of his absolute first read, can he go to the second guy? Can he go to the third guy? And the only way you can learn that is with time. Because he only played 3 games, he didn't get to the point where defensive coordinators were adjusting to where he needed to go to the second read, where he couldn't just throw to Terrace Marshall. So that's going to be big, but I am a big Myles guy, and we'll see how that actually plans out. Greg, thank you so much. I love talking about Myles Brennan because he is such a great Tiger, coming back yet again. If I were him, I don't know if I'd have the cojones to come back again, because look, I would just go to the ACC or a non-Power 5 school and put up big numbers, and hopefully I get drafted. But this is a gutsy thing because Nuss easily could beat him out. And we also know Brian Kelly loves him some Walker Howard as well. But I do think this is going to be Myles' job to lose. Hopefully, Greg, I answered that question. I do tend to agree with this. TK has such a fun thing right there. I love your avatar. Myles is Mac Jones. It's actually a pretty good comp. I like it. Read. Let's see. That's funny, Reed. Los Pollos Hermanos. Huh? You know what's funny, Carl? There's a lot of Coventry Bradford fans on this channel. I see 9 wins next season with Myles. Kevin, that is bold. I love it. Next year's schedule is easier. Micah says Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time. It's mine too. It's mine. I hope so. Stronger arm than Mac? I would agree with that. I see 10 wins. There we go. Roger is my favorite photo. I love it, man. Don't know what the hell. I love it. King Ulysses is on the Trey Bradford train. I love it. Things you love to see. Trey Bradford's got some speed to him. I love it, man. Dang, Myles Brennan is winning this poll. Dang. Once again, it's not who will start, it's who do you want to start. But Myles, 91% of the poll. All right, so this is something that I really love about it, but it's also kind of not true DRC because they did that movie, right? I think about it all the time. Breaking Bad should not have done the movie follow-up. They should have just ended on season 5. Every series has a price, guys. Every series, right? They shouldn't have done that. The Aaron Paul movie, I freaking hated it. I felt guilty watching it. There was a piece of me that didn't want to watch it at all. But yeah, I can't freaking I can't live with it, man, because because people get pissed all the time about season finales, right? Breaking Bad or series finale. Breaking Bad series finale was so perfect. But we're not a spoilers alert channel. Jimbo, that's funny. LSU 10 wins. You must mean the basketball team. Myles could have went to Clemson. I love Clemson's. I love that Cade Klubnik kid. That kid is just good, man. He can really sling it. I thought Better Call Saul was okay, right? I only watched season 1, though. I kind of got out of watching series after that. Haley can attest to this. When I watch very deep series like that, when they end, I get really sad. I don't know what it is. I just get really, really, really sad. I'm not in the drug business. I'm in the empire business. Kind of right now. Armani Goodwin. Trevante Citizen. Oh, don't get in here with this Game of Thrones. BS. No one cares about Game of Thrones, KMC. Carl's the only one who's complimented my haircut. Ryan, I thought at first this was a college football comment, and I was like, no, he's talking about Better Call Saul. Both are true. Oh, man. Exactly, the finality of it. Yeah, I just get too sad, right? So, like, sports is different, right? Even after the 2019 team, when we kind of knew it was never going to be that good again, I don't get sad thinking about it. I don't get sad that it was over because you always have another season, right? Television isn't like that. There's not sometimes series just ends. Now, I know some of you are freaks of nature and you love Seinfeld. Seinfeld's a good show, but the one thing Seinfeld fans always like to remind you, the show never gets old. You can just rewatch it anytime you want. And it's true, right? Seinfeld kind of just doesn't end, right? You can find a TV, go scrolling at 3 a.m. You're going to see Skinamax softcore porn, and you're going to see Seinfeld on one of the channels. Either or, okay, for just scrolling. There's always an episode of Seinfeld somewhere airing, right? Next thing you know, ESPN's going to have Seinfeld. Home and Gardening's going to have Seinfeld, and they'll have Martha Stewart cameos in there somehow, CGI'd in there. I don't know how. Welcome to the channel, Elizer Perez. If Bo Nix would transfer to LSU, would it be a good thing? I don't think he's transferring to LSU. And no, I don't think Bo Nix is that great. The Witcher? The Witcher? What is The Witcher? Now, Hitman, tell me this. Why wouldn't you finish the show after my live stream? That's the thing. The thing I don't get is all of you guys rushing into a packed theater with a bunch of mouth breathers to go see Spider-Man. Okay? I can't imagine going to Spider-Man and there being a Ralph and a Carl and whoever, 300-pound dudes, socks and sandals, Hawaiian shirts, Spider-Man mask on, haven't showered in 3 days, and you're going into packed theaters. They're not kids in there. They're a bunch of Carls and Ralphs and still living in their parents' basement, and they take up all the armrest in the world, and you want to pay $30 to go see Spider-Man when the movie's going to be the same thing now as it's going to be in a week. Too soft. Breaking Bad's too soft? With one of the most controversial scenes in cinema. I'm not going to get into it because we're not a spoiler channel. Only 6 others in the theater? I'm not hating on Spider-Man. My point, and I was doing some ESPN radio in South Carolina yesterday, and so the way it works is I have this little device, right? And I set it up here, and I do a 4-hour show talking about Clemson in South Carolina. And the funny thing about it, guys, is and this is the weirdest thing, both of the producers kept bugging me about not seeing Spider-Man yet. Why would I go see it now? How can I enjoy a packed theater with socks and sandal wearing human beings? The movie's going to be the same 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks. Hitman. That means I'm not entertaining enough. It means I'm not entertaining enough, Hitman. I get it. You weren't even here for the Jeremy Hill interview, Hitman. What are you going to do with yourself? You've been in every live stream except these last two. I don't understand how anyone could think Breaking Bad is too soft. LJ, are you kidding me? Really? LJ, where are we getting martinis in Houston, man? Not gonna lie, I rock socks and Crocs as well sometimes. They feel pretty good about it. I mean, if you were South Carolina and you got Spencer Rattler, imagine being a South Carolina fan. Once again, we're spoiled as LSU fans. We had this guy. I keep pointing this way, and I am happy we had Jeremy Hill, but we also had this guy right here. Whichever one of these. Can I show y'all something really quickly? A viewer of my football card podcast sent me something really cool, and I think you guys would find this pretty cool. Okay. So on my football card podcast, I know this is going to be nerdy. I feel like I feel like a nerd right here. So I got sent this right here. This is a printing plate. Okay. There's only one of these made in the world. So this was Tyrann Mathieu's rookie printing plate. And this plate was used to print all the Tyrann Mathieu cards. And I've never had a printing plate of any player. They're normally pretty expensive cards. All you got to do is go on eBay and type in printing plate of whichever player. I just lost 10 viewers because I'm a nerd. But they gave me this. 15 viewers now. I don't care. I wanted to show you this. Shout out to Khaled Desi. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. So it's like not even a card, really. It's just a plate. I know it's strange, but who cares? I'll take it out of the thing right here. I won't take it out of this, but the one touch here. Look at that. How cool is that? And there's only one. You can see the back of it. It says 1 of 1 right there. Topps 2013 Supreme Football Trading Cards, Tyrann Mathieu. So this is the actual printing. That's only my second Tyrann 1 of 1. I showed you my other one. So now I'm the Spider-Man nerd. Here's the thing. I have nothing against Marvel. I like Marvel a lot. I'm also a Jamie Foxx guy, big time. Big fan of his. Still. The white leather New Balance. I would love to give some of my Tyrann Mathieu cards to Tyrann himself. And of course, I would just give some of these to him. I'm still trying to be the best Tyrann Mathieu card collector on the planet. I'm still early in my journey, but I will get there one day. And he might win NFL Man of the Year. I'm hoping. I am hoping. I have been there, yeah. It's funny. Anthony sent me an Instagram message not too long ago. It was so cool. I knew Anthony in college as well. We were in school together. And someone else that runs the shop with him followed me on IG not too long ago. Anthony, I mean, he was obviously a beast LSU athlete, but it's really cool. So he did win Man of the Year. I thought you only got that trophy if I thought everybody got a trophy if you were the Man of the Year on your team. So he did win it. There you go. That's tight. I thought I saw it. I obviously have his Twitter. I don't think he won the national though. Let me see. I think he's just the nominee. I think they have a nominee of. Yeah, I thought he was just. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong about this. I would be pretty happy about that because I'm a big Tyrann fan, as many of you know. Yeah, I thought they saved it for the end, and then they took like the top 3 nominees, and they do it when they do the MVP or something like that. I don't know. But I did see the trophy. So you get, if you're the man of the year on your own team, they send you like a little trophy. But I hope he actually is a winner. Nominee, so he's just a nominee. I hope he wins, though. I get pretty emotional if he wins. I hope he wins. You know, it's funny, Reed, we haven't talked a whole lot about the Mike Elko thing. Good question, Lavi. So let me do this really quickly. That's a good question. So Panini has the NFL license, right? And I want to give you this right here, okay? And Lavi, I'm going to shout you out in my next podcast episode here. So I record this. At least say you're watching the NOLA Bowl. I'm actually not. I was actually getting this link for Lavi because he specifically asked. So Lavi, subscribe to this link right here, and we do football card questions all the time. I'm going to have Andy on here one night, and we'll talk football cards only. What's your go-to brand when collecting new player cards? Which grow in value best? So let's go through a few things really quickly because I know I've gotten a lot of questions about this because you guys see football cards and one basketball card right there. It's Daniel Gafford, my guy. And that's a Michael Jordan card somewhere up there. But football cards is different. It changes from player to player. Obviously, all the valuable cards made in the last 4 or 5 years is from a company called Panini. And any Panini card is going to have an NFL license. So the first thing, Lavi, is the likelihood that you're going to get a good price on a rare Justin Jefferson or Joe Burrow card is very small because both of them are balling out right now. And Jamar Chase cards are going to be insanely expensive because he's a superstar. And he's got it. If you guys know what I'm talking about, he's just a star, right? He's big in the fantasy community. He's going to make a lot of money. So the second thing I would do is also like be careful. Don't just come into this and spend a lot of money. And the second part is understand, and this is very important, Lavi. If you're an LSU fan, college uniform cards is not, they're not worth a lot. Some of them are. In fact, a Grant Delpit college uniform card just went for a lot of money, but it was just because it was an extremely rare version of it. But college uniform cards don't collect value. Boom, there you go. So, yeah. What do you do with all the gum from all those packs of cards? I don't know. Huh? I don't open many packs. I just buy singles. But once again, shout out to Kala Desi. No, it was me. I've had internet issues all day. I'm surprised I've been able to go 2+ hours tonight. I'm actually on a hotspot right now. So here we go. Hitman, this is what happens when you decide to watch TV instead of me, right? It freezes every time. It was all you, Hitman. It was all you. Carvis. So here's what we'll do. We'll keep this thing going. I have my hotspot on right now. So, and the show goes on. Thank you, Lavi. We appreciate that, man. So yeah, I'll get more into football cards there. I do every week. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Andy. Yeah, Kevin, I wish I could put your comment on the screen. All right, guys, we'll hang out for a little bit longer. So yeah, I'll answer as many questions as we possibly can. If not, we're going to wrap this thing on up. Wow. 2-minute warning. That's fine, Jared. You know how I am, man. We give you 2+ great hours. Does anyone have any questions for Van Lathan on Thursday? It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to love Van. Talk about next year's football schedule. You know what's funny, Kevin, about that? I actually like the odd year schedules more than the even year schedules, just because of who we have to play on the road versus at home. We've honestly played Alabama pretty well on the road compared to at home, obviously. Plus, we get more favorable home matchups on odd numbered years. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Twitter Spaces. Yeah, I like it, man. Blake's great. Blake is great. 2-minute warning. Blake's my homie, and Blake will probably be a guest in the next month. I know I talk about Blake a lot on here. He talks about me on his channel. He's just the best. He's just the best. Roger. Love it. For a good show. Thank you so much, Mo Funky. You obviously support me a lot. You did brighten my day with the I'm gonna pull it up just for you. So I'll show you guys this. I wasn't gonna show I haven't shown any graphics during this fun live stream. Get this. How cool is this? So I got to be Santa Claus earlier today. And there's a Grinch right there. Good times. And I want y'all to see Mo Funky's. It's kind of small print off to the right here. Ho, ho, ho. Hey, hey, hey. Ho, ho, ho. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, little one. LSU Power Hour right this way. Let's go. I love the corniness of this Mo Funky. And that just made me so happy. It was fun. I love corny jokes like this. I freaking love it. Oh man. Why would you drop such a corny, horrible joke like this, Jared? Van Lathan saying brown eyes. Oh man. Jay Abide, welcome to the channel. I think 7 and 5 would be a good barometer, right? I think that's about where you should expect it to be. But yeah, Mo Funky, thank you. I really do appreciate it. You know what's interesting, Mo Funky? You and I talked about this kid privately, and I had someone reach out to me on Twitter about this kid not too long ago. The Foster Moreau kid out of Pineville, ironically. We were talking about Pineville a little bit earlier in central Louisiana. You know what's interesting? I like Foster Moreau. Wait, his name's not Foster Moreau. It's Caden Moreau. I keep saying Foster Moreau. Obviously, go Raiders, even though I'm not a Raiders fan. The Caden Moreau thing is obviously very interesting. So obviously, there's been like a really strong Twitter movement to get this kid on the team. I just don't know. He looks good enough. I mean, he looks fine. I think a lot of offensive linemen are year 2, year 3 guys anyway. So, if you put in the work, you could be a year 2, year 3 guy. I don't know. I don't know. You like him as an offensive tackle at the D1 level? I like it. He'd be a very interesting player. You know what makes it really fascinating is I don't know how much Brian Kelly and Brad Davis knows about him, right? Because Brad Davis, has only been here less than a year, and obviously Brian Kelly is brand new. There's only so many kids that they can really look at, right, and offer. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Also, Mo Funky, I think, especially if this Miles Frazier thing plays out, I think we will continue to see colleges, minor league, their way through offensive linemen. And what I mean by that, Sip G says 10 and 3. I like that. What I mean by minor league is they'll treat these non-Power 5 schools as minor league football for their offensive linemen. I'll say this, and motherfucker, you and I have talked about this as well. Offensive line is such a tough and weird position to evaluate, right? What are you looking for out of a great offensive lineman? Obviously, there are some guys that are just so undeniably good, like Cam Robinson. It was pretty immediate that he was phenomenal, right? 10 and 3, 11 and 2, 13 and we'll beat Bama as well. I like that. You know, I just think it's so hard to evaluate offensive line play. I just think it is. LSU's had all these great defensive linemen become offensive linemen. I just don't know, right? So what I think could happen with this Caden Moreau kid is if he really wants to play at LSU, if I was a coach, I would say, hey, Caden, go somewhere on scholarship, start and play there or become a year 2 guy there. And if you're good enough, we could bring you back for year 3, year 4. I honestly could envision a scenario where that starts happening, especially if this Miles Frazier thing works itself out. Now, why do I think this could happen? Well, just go look at the recruiting rankings historically in Louisiana. We never have these Will Campbell, Emory Jones classes, right? Where we have a bunch of elite offensive linemen in Louisiana. Louisiana, we've discussed this before, it's just not an offensive line state, right? It's not that there's not good offensive linemen here. It's just we aren't national championship 4- and 5-star blue chip guys out of Louisiana every year like we are at receiver and running back and whatever. So, it is a little bit different as far as the Moreau kid. I know you like him a lot. Reed, that's not me. Huh? I don't know if we're going to beat Alabama next year. I hope so. I also like this too, Carvis. Still fingers crossed on Marcus Dumerville. Maybe next year is his breakout year. But this is, what I was discussing a minute ago, or what we've been discussing. I think we could see this. I really could. Exactly. So if Caden Moreau goes somewhere and just puts one good year of film in year 1 or year 2, LSU can call him back and say, look, Caden, we think you're good enough. Come on over. Okay, Sip, I'm with you. We are going to beat them. Let's go. Let's go, Sip. Let's go. Let's go, Sip. Let's go. I like that attitude. We'll clap on the staff. I could see him being a future coach too. Clapp and Brunfield coming back. Those guys are really good football players. But Jay Abad, yeah, you've got a lot of good records here. I would say probably 8 and 4, 7 and 5. That would be the base. Hopefully, obviously you would prefer 9 and 4, 10 and 3. So there you go. Roger, thank you for the super chat, man. So Roger asked this question. Roger, type it in the chat if you can in the YouTube chat. I'll put your name up there. And we'll keep hanging out. Dang, Myles Brennan dominated this poll question. Dear Lord. I did not expect it to be that lopsided. I know there's some anti-Miles. Roger's question right there. All right, Matthew, since we were talking comic book movies a minute ago, Andrew Whitworth, the first ever LSU or the first ever left tackle to start a game at 40 years old. For those that follow comic book and also Twitter memes closely, what's going to happen to Andrew Whitworth is the Thanos scene, right? Where he just sits down in the creek or in his quiet place. That's what Andrew Whitworth is going to do. My guy is tired. You don't play left tackle for 20 plus years of existence and not just be like, guys, can I take a breath? I think he would take a year off, but once again, obviously Whit is a legend. Oh, Sip, I love that attitude right there. He is exactly 10 years younger, so I like it. Will Campbell is a gangster. Flat out go listen to him speak. He's a gangster? Like he sounds like Al Capone and Nucky Thompson? I'm kidding. I know what you're saying. Oh, he does dominate interviews. Him and Emory Jones both dominate interviews, man. So, who do you got? Matt House is the new defensive coordinator. Roger Carvis says we need to keep Durante Jones. Roger, let me know what you think. I don't know why it's not letting me in this poll question. It could just be that I'm crazy. Love it. I like Reed's optimism. I would like Durante to get another opportunity, but you know, that's the thing. Football coaching is not always a meritocracy, right? It's not always going to be the best guy, right? Or you could do your job the absolute best and it not matter. So much of coaching comes down to fit. Kevin, we'll see you Tuesday night, and then we'll see you also Thursday night with Van Lathan. Should be a lot of fun. Dang, Garrett Nussmeyer, only 3% of the votes. Are we sleeping on Nuss a little here? Let's see. Yeah. I'd like to keep Durante, but he's gone. KMC has been on the Nuss bus for a while. That's a good question, Mo Funky. Because there were some throws in the UCLA game that Myles would have made that Max would not have made, but it would also have come down to would Max have even been the starter? Once again, there's just so many questions regarding that. So I don't know. Roger, I'm going to go. Obviously, Matt House looks like, just based on reports, looks like there's some smoke to that fire. But yeah, we'll see. We'd have been 10-2 with Myles. I mean, so much change after the UCLA game. It's very interesting. We can play house. Dang, Durante, no, should not remain the defensive coordinator. Eric says, with Pete's calling the plays, same record with Myles. John, welcome. Myles will lead us to a good season next year while Kelly gets the program stabilized. I like it. I do. All right, guys. Let's do a 2-minute warning. Roger, I would like Durante to keep his position, but it looks unlikely. Obviously, there is some skepticism regarding the small 4-game sample, and this would be something Brian Kelly would know more about because I'm not on the inside. But I don't know what happened to the LSU defense. We still don't know why the defense changed before the Alabama game. Was that Durante's decision or was it someone else's decision? I don't know. We don't. Unless Durante gets the opportunity to speak, we don't know. We honestly don't know. Dang, Michael B. Man, Carter, from that angle, so much gray. Looks almost bald. I'm 43 and my brother has way gray than me. No hate, just an observation. Dear Lord, Michael. I mean, you don't comment at all. And then you come in here like, hey, Carter, you're the next Don King. Just live with it. Oh, my goodness. Michael. You dropped this bomb 2 hours and 39 minutes into it. Next thing you know, I'm going to be watching The Witcher with Hitman, whatever the heck The Witcher is. Only being a couple solid throws away from beating Bama this year, Myles would have won that game. I would say, yeah, the Bama game would have been more winnable with Myles than the UCLA game because we don't know if he would have started. But yeah, by the Bama game, it would have been clear that Myles would have been the guy. But we'll see. Once again, 3-game sample. It's always tough to see. Who would you like to see for the DC? In a perfect world, Durante would get to keep his spot, and we get to see another year of what we saw of the last 4 games. There's some other guys. Michael, I knew you were kidding. You know what's funny? I get a lot of comments on my gray hair, so it's perfectly fine. Some bones for Z. Thank you so much. I'm gonna show Haley this comment, and it's gonna make her day. But Roger, to follow up on this, obviously, you know, I'm gonna read up on Matt House. I don't know a whole lot about him. I just don't. Everyone in here saying he's likely going to be the guy at LSU. I don't know. I would like Durante, though, to get another shot. But then again, you know, I would like to interview Durante. I would like to know what actually went on, because it was the most bizarre thing I think I've ever seen. I thought 2020 was bizarre doing what we did. 2021, they're going to write, there's going to be a 30 for 30 just on the LSU defense. I could hear it now. Did you know a defense would lose 4 5-star players and then become the Steelers' steel curtain without them? This is the story of the LSU defense. It's so strange, though, Roger. I think about it all the time. I really do. I don't know what happened. I still don't know what happened, right? So, yeah, I think a lot of people would view it this way. There's no difference between Matt House and Durante Jones, 2 NFL position coach guys. I think there is some difference just because House was a defensive coordinator prior to taking over this defensive coordinator job at the Power 5 level. But really, there's not that. There really isn't in terms of recent history. So, yeah, you know, I would slightly agree with that, Carvis. But yeah, so Matt House was a defensive coordinator at Pittsburgh. Look, I'll just put this up right here. Okay. Going on 30 for 30? No, no. I don't know what I would do on there. 30 for 30 is like sports documentary, so you got to be interesting to have a sports documentary. So boom, here is Matt House's. This is just his recent experience. Okay, so I'll turn this banner off. So this is Matt House, Carolina Panthers in 08. Rams, but once again, none of this is DC. So as you can see, he's got a lot of college defensive coordinator experience. Pittsburgh 2013 and 2014, FIU 2015, Kentucky 2016, and then the defensive coordinator in 2017 and 2018. So there you go. Oh, would I like to narrate? Yeah, of course. I would love that. I would freak out. Roger says I'd lean on keeping Durante, but I'm open to other ideas. There you go. So there you go. That's his experience. Right there. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. The rise and fall of the Orgeron Bayou Bengals. There's a guy on TikTok who's like a really good like voiceover guy. His videos are so funny. What's his name? Steven Johnson. So good. The rise and fall of the. I love it. Well, there you go. Michael, you get to ask a question. Go right on ahead. Please, you could talk as much trash about my gray hair as you want. Michael B. As long as you're dropping $20 super chats. if you're dropping $20 super chats. Michael, you could call my aunt. I was going to do the Kevin Hart joke. I love it. I love it, Jacob. Brow game is strong. Let's go. I think it isn't fair to Durante because Ed meddled because he is a first-time coordinator. Only had 4 good games in a season. You're Kelly, and you're going to hang your hat on that defensive coordinator. I think that is true as well, Michael. I think, especially considering Kelly's not a defensive guy, I think he's going to want, and it's ironic he does have a defensive background. That's a position he played in college. But I also think Kelly is just going to want his own guy, right? I'm not going to lie. If I was a head coach and I I know, Michael. Trust me, I love a good ribbing too, right? I did stand up for 5 years, and trust me, I've been called way worse. I really needed to laugh 2+ hours into this, but it's funny, right? I just don't know. Like, I just don't. If I was a head coach, I would just want my own coordinators. I would have a hard time just keeping the same coordinators around. That's just how I would be. Once again, it's each person's different, each coordinator is different. But I can also see Kelly not being on fire about Durante as well. But still. That's true. I like it. But yeah, Michael B, your super chat's still up. We'll keep hanging out. It's true. It's very true. Let me look at the ESPN Bowl pick and see who's winning. Did the Colts end up blowing them out? Yeah, they can sip. Totally agree. Well, there you go. It is true, John. It's also very rare, right? Very rare. Rarer than Mr. Clean with hair. I like Brad a lot. I agree with this to a certain degree. Yeah, I do agree with this. I love me. I really do. All right, guys. Michael, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. Obviously, guys, thank you so much for making this like the funnest thing to get to do on the planet Earth. Thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Thank you guys being patient with my internet issues. That was a lot of frustration there. So yeah. Special thanks as always to King Robert, always holding down the super chats. Also, special thanks. Oh, Matt, thank you. Right here at the end, Matt, that was very kind of you. Thank you so much. Calling it a night. Great session. Thank you so much, Matt. And we'll have another session Tuesday night at 7. And then on Thursday, Van Lathan, his illustrious career in media, as well as him growing up in Baton Rouge and being the most diehard LSU football fan I know. So Van is going to share everything he knows about LSU football. He's going to do some really cool stuff with LSU football. So we will talk to Van about that Thursday. So next live stream, Tuesday night at 7. And it should be fun. Van Lathan on Thursday. It is. Don't forget, it's not too late to sign up for T-Bone there at the end. I like it. Not too late to sign up for ESPN Bowl Pick'em. It's, if you can, guys, please go subscribe to my LSU YouTube channel. It is. I'm trying to get those 2 claps down as tight as we can. Power, hour, LSU, boom. Oh, my buddy cooked me a good steak tonight. Let's go. Shout out to Jason hooking me up with the steak. Let's go. Let's go.